So is self-publishing right for you? A lot depends on your timeline, budget, and goals. The timeline for self-publishing versus traditional publishing is quite different. Traditional publishing can take up to 2 years, whereas self-publishing can be done in a matter of weeks or months. It provides flexibility, faster turnover, and keeps the costs down. And then also allows you to retain creative control. You have all your rights, where that is different with traditional publishing. I do want to warn anyone that's still considering different companies, be careful of vanity publishing companies. I do know people that have spent thousands of dollars with vanity publishing companies. I do know of people that have not spent thousands, and they did work with some companies where it wasn't real expensive and they just needed help with the self-publishing process. But there are a lot of work that you can do yourself that you really don't have to pay a company to. And I would definitely not have a company upload your book. Make sure you have your own KDP account if you're using KDP, and upload your own book. So in general, ask a lot of questions, do a lot of research, and make sure you have all the information you need for a successful self-publishing journey. Next, we're going to look at the essential steps in the author journey process from manuscript to published book. These are the 7 steps that I've established and I followed for all my books. I actually have a book on the 7 steps that drills a lot deeper in all of these steps. Number 1, you want to establish a strong foundation and goals. It starts with an idea, which turns into a vision with a strong purpose. And all successful foundations have several things in common. They're strong, well-designed, and built to last. And that's exactly what you want to do for your book. It's important also to set realistic goals for your journey as well. Step 2 is the actual writing process. So I like to start with an outline, especially for lengthier books like nonfiction or novels. For short stories, poems, and children's books, you could make a list of story ideas, characters, write down your plot and/or your theme. And depending on your timeline, it's important to establish a writing schedule with target dates and establish discipline. And you want to envision yourself reaching the finish line, no matter what step you are in the process. Step 3 is the learning, doing your homework, and pre-marketing. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to do your research and learn as much as you can. There are online groups, workshops, and online training to help you with the whole process. And I know YouTube is great for specific topics, but it can also be daunting at times. To me, a structured training course is best to go from point A to B to C, etc., to help you stay on the path and get to the finish line. So during this step number 3, you can consider pre-marketing to start telling the world that your book is coming soon. Especially if you have your front cover done, you can create some graphics and start sharing it and let people know when your book is coming soon. Step 4 is author networking, and we're doing that right now. Years ago when I first started, I joined author groups. There are so many. There's a lot on Facebook. There's even ones on LinkedIn. And it's a great way to swap ideas, ask questions, and get instant feedback. When I did that, I also joined the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, which I highly recommend if you are writing a children's book. That's a large, well-known organization, and I went to workshops in person and online. And I also found a local writing critique group, and everybody was a member of that society, and they were all writing children's stories. So that actually helped me. I went to that group like off and on once a week for maybe 1 to 2 years. And then I needed stories to bring. And actually that's how I ended up writing my rhyming stories and brought them to the group. They helped me, we all read each other's stories and we critiqued, and they helped me polish the rhyming. And then that's how my children's books were born. So definitely do author networking. Step 5 is the formatting and editing process. So for this step, you can do some or all of the tasks yourself if you feel comfortable and have some experience. You can hire someone else, or you can do a bit of both. I formatted all my books only because I used to create training manuals. My background is IT and training, so it's something that I enjoy doing. I use Microsoft Word for mostly all my books. Although I did create a short ebook in Canva. There are so many tools you could use for this step, but the most important thing is to keep it simple and select the tools you are most comfortable with and the ones that are easy for you to use. And if you need help, you can definitely reach out and hire someone. Just again, do your research and diligence, and Fiverr is a website where you can check people's profiles and make sure they have the proper experience. Step 6 is the actual publishing process. So I'm a self-publishing advocate, and I have 15 books so far, primarily using KDP for the most part, although I did use Ingram Spark only for the hardcover version of my children's books. So at the time of creating this presentation today, although KDP does offer hardcover, the minimum page count is 75. But I think that's going to change in the future, because I was thrilled a year or so ago when they announced hardcover, and I've contacted them several times. Even if I had to contact them for a separate question, I always ask them, are you going to lower the page count so that those of us who want to create children's books can self-publish hardcover on your platform? And they said they've gotten a lot of people asking, so they're considering it. So cross your fingers. I would absolutely love to just use one platform. For me, that would be KDP. Book formats to consider include ebook, paperback, and hardcover. You can also consider audiobooks as well. The last step is launching your book and beyond. So this includes picking a live date for your book, which is not necessarily the same date as your launch date. If you hit the publish button, make sure you do that a couple weeks before your live date. I know someone that tried to hit the button on their live date and then their book wasn't published for a few days, but you definitely want to give yourself some time in between there. After your book goes live, it's important to nurture your book. Continue to reach out to your ideal audience to let them know that your book's available, let them know about updates, and continue your marketing. Have some promotional graphics created ahead of time, establish a marketing plan, and get your launch day announcements ready when your book goes live. Okay, next we're going to talk about logistics of self-publishing, including ISBNs, royalties, and distribution. So ISBNs, which stands for International Standard Book Number, is a unique identifier, and you could purchase in the United States, that is, you can purchase ISBNs on Boker.com, and it's less expensive if you buy a batch. They can be quite expensive. So if you're only planning on self-publishing, the other thing you could consider is KDP offers free ISBNs. So I did that at the very beginning years ago when I first started, and I didn't really decide to get ISBNs initially, but eventually I did, and I bought them in a batch. And that's good if you are considering publishing on other platforms. And then there's the aspect of if you're planning on selling your book to distributors or bookstores. It's mostly if you're thinking about publishing on other platforms. Now, some countries, including Canada, offer free ISBNs. Each format of your book needs a separate ISBN. So a separate one for print, separate one for ebook, separate one for audiobook. Now, royalties. So KDP makes it easy to calculate your royalty amount for each book. They have a built-in calculator on the pricing tab, which I absolutely love. Now, Ingram Spark has, a way you can tell, but overall, I think the KDP dashboard is just so much more friendly, so much easier to use, and I'm able to contact KDP easily. KDP offers a 70% royalty option for ebooks and 60% for print books. So the royalty amount is going to be based on several things: your book format, your page count, and your price list. And somewhere I mentioned, maybe on another slide, also the file size. So for example, for a 100-page paperback with a black and white interior, obviously this would not be a good example for children's books, but you can get an idea. Priced at $11.99, the royalty amount is approximately $5, which is 60% of the list price minus the print cost of $2.15. So again, this amount varies depending, here it is. Yeah, I've mentioned about your book size here. But think of it this way: if you sell just 4 books a day at that price, that amounts to $600 a month. So that's, a good chunk of change. Okay, so let's touch on expanded distribution. This makes your book available to bookstores and other distributors. So large book distributors can make your title available to other online retailers, libraries, universities, and booksellers beyond Amazon. So Amazon's a retailer and Ingram Spark is a distributor, but both have expanded distribution options. Now, I had heard about Ingram Spark years ago, and that's when I was thinking about the hardcover for my children's book. And I contacted KDP because they also have an expanded distribution options on the pricing tab that you can check. That it's a little lower as far as the royalty, but to me it's still worth it because it's free. So in general, I mean, it really depends on the format you need and which platform you decide to use. But like I said, KDP does have expanded distribution. I asked them what the difference is between their expanded distribution and Ingram Spark, and actually they use a lot of the same list of websites and companies to push your book out. Ingram Spark is a little larger, but you can also, I mean, I have the expanded distribution turned on for most of my books, like my nonfiction and the children's books that I published on KDP, right? It can't hurt. And if anything, it will make your book more available, through other companies and websites. So moving right along, now let's talk about book formatting, cover designs, and files you need for uploading on platforms such as KDP. So there's a multitude of tools. As I mentioned, I primarily use Microsoft Word for formatting, and then I save it to PDF for the interior, at least for the print books. For ebooks, you would need to take that same PDF and then convert it to ebook format. I mean, I love KDP. Obviously, it's a free Amazon tool, and then they have other free tools like Kindle Create. So I know there's tools that convert your manuscript to ebook format, but you can just use Kindle Create. That's what I use. And you can save it to this KPF, which is the Kindle Create format, which they accept. Or now they just added that they Kindle Create converts to EPUB format, because I know some platforms you need the EPUB format. There's other tools too. There's KDP Select, which is actually for marketing, and it's free. And you can, this is for ebooks though, KDP Select, you can run a free promo for a certain number of days. You can also run what's called a Kindle Countdown deal, and say your book is like $11.99, you can run a deal where you set it to $8.99 for 2 days, and then maybe $5.99 for 1 day, then it goes back up to the $11.99. And then there's other tools like Kindle Previewer and the actual Kindle app, all which are free to use. As far as formatting, though, I know there's a plethora of tools out there. Like as I mentioned, I use Word for my mostly text or text and nonfiction books that have some pictures in there. And then for my children's books, I actually discovered a way a few years back to lay out the illustrations directly in Word. I have training on that. That's what I use to lay out all my interior. Now for the covers, I absolutely love Canva in general. It's like my favorite tool, one of my favorite tools. I use Canva to create my book covers. So no matter what tool you use, or if you hire someone, you'll need a high quality PDF, a full book cover. That's the front, spine, and back cover. That is for the print books, and you want to make sure it's this CMYK color profile. And the sizing must match with the book cover template. So KDP has book cover templates, and Ingram Spark has their own book cover templates, which is a little different. Ingram Spark is a little bit more strict with the edging. They have like a thicker area for the margin and the bleed. So there are different templates for both. The templates are based on your trim size and the number of pages. Now for the ebooks, you only need front cover image in high resolution JPEG format. Next, let's talk about strategies for effective book marketing and promotion. Should you sell online or should you sell in person? I do both. And for online, I use a combination of Amazon ads, social media, and videos for online marketing. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, you can use KDP Select for ebooks for the free promo days and price promotions. It's good to take advantage of the holidays and do some online holiday promotions. And if your book is coming out around the holidays, all the more better. You can use Canva for some wonderful holiday themed graphics. You want to have, social media posts and book trailers. And you can create a video in Canva as well. And they have animation effects as well. Now, selling in person. Okay, so if you're selling in person, actually this would say offer, not office, sorry about that. Offer book deals. So this helped me a ton over the last year. So just have a sign with your price list and then one book for 12, for example, two for 20. You just want to make sure that if you do the deal, 2 for 20 equates to what you're aiming at as far as, selling. Because like a hardcover, I might do 1 for 18, 2 for 30. So I would know I want to sell it for at least for 15. And you'd be surprised how many people, and I do my coloring books too that way, and people are like, oh, I might as well just get 2, different books. Now that's why I definitely highly recommend having more than one book. I usually say at least 3 in a series. You can offer free items or merch, like bookmarks. I like to have a basket with free items, but my family and friends said, why are you giving all that stuff away? Well, it does lure people to the table, but then you have to be careful about how much money you spend. So I started making crafts too for my tables. And like, for instance, for my Squishy Wishy meatballs, and I have a coloring book that has pasta math, I started making pasta out of felt. And I have like a little pasta plate kit with meatballs and stuff. So that's actually been a hit. So you never know what you can come up with for your books, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, or children's books. Yeah, definitely include a framed price list. That's what I use. And it's been such a help. Possibly invest in an author sign, table runner. As I said, maybe there's something you can create to go with your books. I also like to use props. So I have my Silly Woolly apple cake, and a few years back I found somebody on Instagram that creates artificial desserts. So I have like a plastic, I'm not sure what it's actually made out of, resin or something, a bundt cake that I keep, and I have it displayed at times, and the kids get a kick out of it. And you definitely want to take a lot of pictures at these events and then post on social media. Next, I want to get into Canva and how you can use that for book marketing. Canva is my go-to tool for almost any type of graphics, so it's a great tool to use for book marketing. You can create almost anything in Canva. I even created this presentation in Canva. It's very versatile. You can start with the free version, but Canva Pro, which I use, allows you to take full advantage of all the thousands of elements and features it has to offer. So I love Canva so much, I created a training course for people that want to learn Canva, and they're always changing and adding features. They're just always evolving. So for book marketing, you can create mock-ups, social media graphics, and even create items to print and place and order directly in Canva, like business cards, signs, banners, all kinds of things. As I mentioned, you can also create videos in Canva, like a book trailer. And if you follow me on social media, mostly all the graphics I post are created in Canva. So as I mentioned, I love using Canva, especially for laying out all my book covers. Okay, so next I want to review the latest important changes and updates on Amazon KDP. First, book categories. So KDP used to let you add up to 10 categories. Initially, when you upload it, you got to pick 3, but then after your book was live, you contact them and you used to be able to submit 10. However, now they changed it to 3. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You can hone in a little bit more specific because sometimes 10 was just like a bit much. But you can update the book categories now right through the KDP dashboard when you upload your book. You just want to make sure that you select relevant book categories that match up well for your genre. So the Look Inside feature, if you remember when you looked at a book, there was Look Inside, little diagonal button at the top. Well, that's been changed to read sample. And it's now a button underneath the book thumbnail on Amazon. So when you click read sample, it still shows you the same preview, including a cover, a few pages of the interior, and the back cover. To me, I just always liked the look inside because it was at the top and it was more obvious, but now people have to go to the bottom and click read sample. Okay, ratings versus reviews. So on the main Amazon book listing page, instead of reviews, the word ratings now shows along with an average numeric rating next to the number of stars. It looks like this now. So a little bit of difference in how it shows. And there is a difference between reviews and ratings, which is not new. There's a commentary that when people place a review, like if you placed a review on Amazon for any product, you go to that, it takes you to that form where you put like the title and the description of your review. That's the commentary. But if you want, you can, or readers of your book, they can just select the number of stars and then they close out and the star actually gets recorded as a rating. That's why you see books with thousands and thousands of reviews, well, now ratings. If you look inside, like if you click, this is just an image, but if you're on Amazon, you click on that little drop down, you'll see that, if they have 10,000 ratings, that it only might be like 20% that actually have commentary, right? A lot of them are just star ratings. So it's a quick and easy way that if you do tell people, I always like to have like a page in the back of my book, a polite request that if they can do you a favor, if they enjoyed reading your book, if they could please leave a review. And if they go on Amazon, they don't necessarily have to put a commentary. They can just click on the number of stars, hopefully 5, maybe 4, right? Another change is AI tracking. So Amazon is now collecting information about the use of artificial intelligence, AI tools in creating content. So when you upload, update, or edit your book, you're required to select yes or no to the question, did you use AI tools in creating text, images, and or translations? I mean, AI can be very helpful. I do use ChatGPT to help me rewrite, especially for a post or a sales page or something. But to write a whole book, if your heart's not in it, don't ask AI to write for you, right? It's a little bit much. And it kind of makes me sad about, those of us who love to write. Oh, I forgot to mention that with these changes, I'd like to know what you think about these changes. Do you like them? Do you have concerns? Do you think it's they're good or bad? And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and smash the like button and remember to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.